Have you ever stood in the middle of a project you were once so excited about and felt nothing but dread just looking at it? There was a woman named Elena, 31 years old, a graphic designer who worked from a small studio above a bakery in her hometown. Elena had a gift. Her hands could turn a blank page into something alive. But Elena had a curse, too, one that lived quietly inside every gift she had. She could not finish. Her hard drive was a graveyard of folders named Final, Final V2, Final Actual. A logo for a coffee shop, 90% done, abandoned for 8 months because the client asked for one small revision and Elena never opened the file again. A children's book she was illustrating for her sister, 4 pages colored, 12 pages still just pencil outlines, sitting untouched for over a year. A website redesign for her own portfolio, the one thing that could have brought her more clients, stuck in coming soon for so long that she had stopped believing her own words. Her mother, a retired seamstress who had spent 40 years finishing every hem she ever started, used to watch Elena work and shake her head gently. "Mija," she would say, "talent opens the door, but only finishing walks you through it."
Elena would laugh it off, promise she'd wrap things up soon, and then, without fail, a new idea would catch her eye, like sunlight on water, and she would follow it instead. Before we go further, I want to know, are you watching this at night, unable to sleep because of something you left unfinished? Or are you watching this in the middle of your own workday, avoiding the very thing you should be doing right now? Drop a comment and tell me where you're watching from. And if any part of this story already feels familiar, go ahead and like this video and subscribe, because what Elena is about to learn might be exactly what you need too. Now, let's get into it. One rainy Tuesday, Elena got an email that would change everything. A well-known design agency in the city was looking for a freelancer to build the complete visual identity for a new client. Logo, packaging, website, the whole brand, start to finish. It was the kind of opportunity designers wait years for. The project lead, a sharp, kind woman named Priya, wrote, "We've seen your work. It's exactly the style we need. Can you deliver a full concept in 6 weeks?" Elena read the email 3 times, her heart pounding. This was it. This was the project that would finally prove to Priya, to her mother, to herself, that she was not just someone who started beautiful things. She was someone who could finish them. For the first 10 days, Elena worked like a different person. She woke up early, brewed her coffee, and sat at her desk before the sun had even cleared the rooftops. The logo concepts came fast and strong. Priya wrote back after the first week, "These are incredible. The client is thrilled." Elena felt something she hadn't felt in years, the quiet, steady thrill of being on track. She taped her progress sheet to the wall and crossed off each milestone with a red marker. For the first time in a long time, she let herself believe. "This time is different," she told herself. "This time I finish." Then, on day 11, while searching for reference images, she stumbled across a typography course by a designer she admired. "Just a few lessons," she thought. "It'll sharpen my lettering for this exact project." She told herself it was research. She told herself it would only take an afternoon. But one course became 3. Then she found a font foundry she'd never heard of and spent 2 days building a personal library for future projects. Then a friend asked her to just glance at a flyer for a weekend event, and glancing turned into redesigning the whole thing from scratch. The brand project sat untouched on her desktop, its folder icon blinking quietly, patiently, like something being forgotten alive. Week 5 arrived faster than she expected. Priya's emails grew shorter, then more pointed. "Elena, we need the final packaging files by Friday. The client presentation is Monday morning." Elena opened the folder that Thursday night and felt her stomach drop. The logo was unfinished. The packaging mock-ups existed only as scattered sketches. The website was a single blank template with a placeholder headline that said, fittingly, "Coming soon." She worked through the night, then through the next night. But you cannot build in 2 days what needed 6 weeks of steady hands. Monday morning came. Priya called, her voice careful, professional, disappointed. "We had to go with someone else, Elena. I'm sorry. I really believed in you." Elena sat on the floor of her studio that evening, surrounded by folders she would never open again. And for the first time, she didn't cry about losing the project. She cried about something bigger. She cried because this wasn't the first time. It was the 15th, the 20th. She lost count. She looked at her own hands, the hands her mother said had a gift, and whispered into the empty room, "I don't think I'm talented. I think I'm just someone who's really good at starting."
2 weeks after she lost the project, Elena drove 3 hours to visit her Aunt Rosa, a retired watchmaker who lived alone in a small house at the edge of the mountains. Rosa was famous in the family for one thing above all else. In 50 years of repairing watches, she had never once handed a broken watch back to its owner unfinished. Not one. Elena arrived with red eyes and a heavy heart, and Rosa, without asking a single question, simply said, "Sit. Watch my hands while I talk." Rosa pulled an old pocket watch from a drawer, its case scratched, its gears frozen in time. She opened the back with a tiny screwdriver and laid the pieces out on a cloth, one by one, in perfect rows. "Do you know why most watches never get fixed, Elena?" she asked, not looking up. "It's not because the person lacks skill. It's because somewhere in the middle, they see all these tiny pieces spread out on the table, and it looks like chaos. It looks impossible. So they sweep the pieces into a box and tell themselves they'll finish later." She picked up a single gear, no bigger than a grain of rice, and began cleaning it with a soft brush.
But a watch isn't fixed by one big, brilliant move. It's fixed by cleaning one gear, then the next gear, then the next. 30, 40 tiny pieces, one at a time, until the whole thing ticks again. Elena watched, silent, as Rosa worked. Piece by piece, the scattered chaos on the cloth became order. "The middle always looks like chaos," Rosa said. "That's not a sign you failed. That's just what the middle looks like. Everyone's middle looks like broken pieces on a table." She set down the brush and looked directly at Elena for the first time. "Here is what I've learned in 50 years, and I want you to hear it clearly. Finishing has nothing to do with talent, and very little to do with motivation. Finishing is a decision you make with your hands, not your feelings." She let the words settle before continuing. "Talent gets you a full table of pieces. Only discipline puts the watch back together." Rosa reached into her drawer and pulled out a small, plain notebook, its pages blank. She placed it in Elena's hands. "For the next 30 days, choose one unfinished thing. Just one. The smallest one you have. And every single day, before you touch anything new, you spend real time only on that one thing, and you write down what you did in this notebook. No new sketches, no new folders, no new courses. If a shiny new idea knocks on your door, you're allowed to write it down on the last page, so it doesn't feel lost. And then you go back to the one thing." Rosa closed Elena's fingers around the notebook. "Finish one small thing, Elena. That's all. Because the moment you finish one thing, you'll know for the rest of your life that you're capable of finishing anything." Elena held the notebook against her chest like it was something precious.
Her voice was quiet but certain. "One thing," she said. "I can do one thing."
Elena drove home that night with the notebook on the passenger seat, like a companion. The next morning, she opened her laptop and stared at every unfinished folder until her eyes landed on the smallest one, the children's book for her sister. 4 pages colored, 12 still waiting. She closed every other tab. She opened only that file. She worked for 40 minutes and wrote in the notebook, Day 1, colored page 5. It wasn't exciting. I did it anyway. Day 4 was the hardest. A new client reached out with an exciting rebrand offer, the kind of shiny opportunity that used to pull her away instantly. Her hand actually hovered over the reply button. Instead, she opened the notebook, wrote the idea on the last page, exactly like Rosa had taught her, and turned back to page 6 of the children's book. It felt small. It felt almost boring. But she did it anyway. Day 9, page 9, something shifted. Elena noticed she wasn't dreading opening the file anymore. Day 14, page 12.
Her sister called just to check in, and Elena said, almost shy, "It's actually coming along." Day 19, the coloring was done. Day 23, she added the final line of text to the last page. Day 25, the book was complete, bound, printed, and sitting on her desk, whole in a way nothing in her studio had been in years. She ran her fingers across the cover and felt something loosen in her chest, like a knot finally untying itself after being pulled tight for a decade. She didn't stop there. She chose a second unfinished thing, then a third. Each time the same rule. One thing every day, no new folders until it was done. 3 months later, Priya from the design agency reached out again, almost hesitant. A new client just came in, smaller project this time. I know what happened before, but would you want to try again? The old Elena would have said yes out of desperate hope. This Elena said, yes, and I'll show you the finished concept in 2 weeks, not 6. And for the first time, she believed her own words before she'd even said them. She delivered it 4 days early. My friend, Elena's story is not really about watches or children's books or brand identities. It's about you. It's about the half-read book on your nightstand, the online course you paid for and never finished, the business idea sitting in your notes app collecting dust, the apology you've been meaning to write. We all have a table full of scattered pieces somewhere, waiting for someone to sit down and clean one gear at a time. So remember 3 things. First, the messy middle is not proof that you're broken. It's proof that you're exactly where every finisher has stood before you. Second, one finished small thing is worth more than 10 brilliant half ideas. Done will always outlast perfect. Third, discipline is not a feeling you wait for. It's a decision you make with your hands today before you feel ready. Here's your challenge. Pick one unfinished thing in your life right now, the smallest one, and commit to it for the next 30 days. Get a notebook if you need to. Write down what you did each day, even if it's just 10 minutes. When a shiny new idea comes knocking, don't chase it. Write it down and return to the one thing in front of you. If this story reminded you of something you've been avoiding, hit like, share it with someone who has a half-finished dream of their own, and drop a comment telling me the one thing you're finally going to finish. I'll be here with another story to help you keep growing. Until then, remember, you don't need more talent. You just need to clean one gear at a time.